Excellent. Now that that is hammered in, I can begin this scrying pool. Sorry about that and this unorthodox display. I was beginning to record this scry when I noticed a loose nail out of my work table and I just had to fix it. And, well, I currently don't know where my hammer is to go down and grab that to hammer this bastard in. But I had my knife, so it's perfectly safe just to grab the knife by the blade and hammer it in. I don't know why some people will tell me this isn't, but if you know what you are doing, it's impossible to cut your hand. I do this with bare skin alone. Anything's a hammer, really, if you think about it. Hell, if you have a nail, that can be used as a hammer. Just hold the nail downwards and smash, smash. And you get the nail into the wood. But alas, I am getting off topic here. Welcome, everybody, to the scrying pool. So today's is a little unorthodox, even for my standards, because I'm purely unorthodox to begin with. And for those of you who have read the title, you can pretty much see what this currently is, and that's the world's best advice. How to rob a peasant. Now, this advice comes from the, shall we say, inebriated adventures of mine. And I would like to preface this whole thing by saying I am not aware of what laws are currently in your land, but according to the laws of Hibernia and the Brehens, this is highly illegal. You are not allowed. And depending on your social class on the hierarchy, you may end up with less money than you began with. If you are really high up and robbing a peasant low, only do so if you can get away with it. Because if you can get away with it, then nobody knows. But if you're high up on the hierarchy, you get caught, you'll end up having to pay him hundreds of acres of land. Or whatever amount of cows the Brehen tells you to do. Doesn't matter either way. But if you're low on the hierarchy, you may end up with just giving him back what you took from him. Either way, do not get caught. That is the catch. And that is the standard of this video. So understand the Brehen's laws of where you are. Make friends with the Brehens. Know who your local ones are, and then you can get away with these in courts. A little bit of Hibernian corruption for you as well. That's a freebie for you guys today. So, we begin with our main course. And the main course today is quite simply, you first need your knife. This is a shitty little work knife that I have. I mainly use it for paring and hammering and whatnot, because it's an utterly useless weapon knife, because, as you see, there's no guard here. So there's nothing stopping your hand from riding up onto the blade. And as most people understand, and at least in my time, I'm not sure what yours are, but how a knife works with cutting is motion. And if your hand, when it pushes into somebody, hits an object, your hand moves forward with it because it met resistance. And your hand moving forward onto a sharp blade hurts. That should be needless to say. And if it isn't, please run into this knife. Just run forward. Please. Do us all a favor. Run forward into the knife. Yes. Well. How to rob a peasant. When you have your knife, make sure that you have some kind of guard or ball up here, so that way your hand doesn't rub forward onto it. I like this design because it is good for just basic cutting. You cannot thrust with it, which is a little sad. I don't use it for weapons. I use it for home and a little bit of medical experiences. For anything else, I have my good old-fashioned bollock knife or my sax, whichever one I prefer. So the first step is how to rob a peasant. I will show you with this because it's in my hand and I was using it as a hammer, and I don't feel like getting my bollock knife out. So the first step is, you have your knife, you draw your knife. Most people prefer it in this so-called ice pick grip or the rondelle grip, so you can just get your nice little thrusts in. And so that way when you're involved in your knife fighting, you can hold back and forth, and even hold this way, which is a very interesting way to hold it. So getting a little off topic with it. But if somebody throws a swing and they don't see your knife, you push upwards and you jab the blade into their hand, and then you move it off, slicing their wrist. Quite fun, quite fun. But that's not the topic of today. Today's is robbing a peasant. And robbing a peasant is quite fun. So you've drawn your blade out. You go up behind your peasant target. You can see his coin purse dangling on top of his waist like a little bollock, like a pair of bollockses, ready for the kick. And oh, I just felt something up there. Sorry for that imagery for the rest of the men watching this channel. Making jokes about kicking in the balls is not a good choice. But when you see it there, you sneak right up behind the peasant. Your knife pointing downwards. You grab the peasant. Make sure your blade, if it is a single-edged blade like this one, that the sharp point is facing inwards. Grab the peasant's neck, hold him back, and when you grab him, pinch as much skin as possible with it. And put the knife into that pinch. Just a tab, as if you are pricking a finger. Just this prick. You want to draw a tad bit of blood, but you're not trying to actually thrust him through. Remember that, because this is the most important factor of this experiment. We'll call it an experiment, that way I don't get in any legal trouble for telling you to go after them. So, when you pinch the skin as much as possible, you poke the tip of it in and cut a tad. You will draw a tad bit of blood, and that is good. Then you release and let him go after you make a visceral motion that he can see above, always pulling away from the target. So if I turn this way, you will see the blade moving completely away from my throat. But he'll see a blade go this way across his neck, fast in motion. He'll instinctively reach up to his neck, put his hand to his neck and look at it and notice blood. He'll have felt the pain from the pinch and the blood on his hands, and his entire motion will go down to looking and holding his throat before he realizes that his throat has not actually been slit. Your hand deftly maneuvers back down to his coin purse and slices the ropes with it, takes it, and you leave and run on your way. By the time he is aware, you've already robbed him, and there is nothing he can do about it. Well, unless he's an expert runner, or he's somehow can understand that you know what you just did and you didn't actually slit his throat. Or he hears you coming because you're a loud buffoon. Yes, and this is not incriminating. I did not rob a peasant. This may be a new knife, but this is, okay, new topic. Don't know where to go from here then. Stop questioning me. I did not rob peasants. No, not me. I just merely tell you how to rob peasants. For me, it's easier just to rob the peasants who pretend to work on you. Well, not even pretend to work on you, just... Actually, I just do the work on you anyway. I just charge you more. Government pays me, but I can always say, you know what? I could save your loved one's life. Or I could do my job after he's already dead. Your choice. That's how I make my money. I don't need to go rob peasants. No, I don't. But anyway, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen who have scryed upon this. How to rob a peasant. It is quite simple, quite fun. Fun for the whole family. And I hope you enjoyed this, and I wish you all the best. Thank you for scrying upon this, and if you wish to partake and donate to these future scries, there is a Patreon link into the bottom, and I wish you to donate your earthly and futuristic currencies to this scrying pool. All donations help, and all donations continue. And if you also enjoyed it, please like and subscribe to the Scry. And now, I wish you all the best, and a pox on all of your enemies. Take care.